Welcome to Servlet configuration. In this video, we will learn the details how to configure a servlet. But that's just on paper. So I want to show you, how do we do it on paper. Then, in our third hands-on, in-person class, we will do hands-on way, try to feel about it. All right. First, deployment descriptor. So we need to get to this web.xml deployment descriptor. So here you may wonder, so what is the role of this deployment descriptor, web.xml? The role, it is a configuration file. It is at the central location of your web application. The role, central. We know when we configure resources of your web applications, there are two ways. One is the centralized way. Okay, in this particular location, we can configure many different resources, centralized way. Another way is distributed way. We distribute our configurations in individual files. So this file is used for centralized configuration. Very important. And it is based on the Java EE specification. We know we use the Java EE technology, right? Based on the Java EE specification, you have to provide this web.xml for your Java web application. Then, here I want to make a small comment. Because some students, you may have a situation, you skip web.xml where you create Java web application. It happens, because you can skip it. The IDE, Eclipse IDE allows you to skip it. If you skip it, you don't have this web.xml, then you may wonder how, because it is required by the Java EE specification, right? How can people skip this one? If you skip that one, the IDE, Eclipse IDE, will internally generate a default one for you. All right? Default one. Because if you skip, that means you do not have any specific resource to configure, right? You don't have any specific resource to configure. Then Eclipse just provide a plain, simple, default web.xml for you in a hidden way. You cannot see it, but it will be there. Right? All right. So let's look at the inside of this file. Role of deployment descriptor. How the application should be deployed. The basic information needed for the deployment. All right? Configure resources. I just mentioned the resources, but you may ask me, so what kind of resources, right? Here, I just give you some examples. Listeners, servlets. Mainly for this class, we do the servlets. Filters. Another concept, filters. At some point, I tried to introduce this concept to you. Filters. Listeners. In one situation, I may show you a simple example using a listener. But this is the most important one. So other cases, if we have chance, I hope, find a chance, we just see it. Feel about it. All right. Then create a multiple instances of a servlet. If you want to do this multiple instances of a servlet, here, let me explain this. Why multiple instances? First, what is multiple instances, right? Yeah. Here, we know in Java web application, our servlet is a Java class. Here, I just want to use a general way, create multiple instances. Suppose we have a Java class called my class. We can use my class to create many instances, right? Yeah. We can use my class to create, object 1 instance, right? Object 2 instance, and so on. Many different instances. Here, imagine our servlet class is the my class here. So we can use the servlet class to create multiple instances in a Java web application, but the question is, usually we use one instance of a servlet in a Java web application. Usually, yeah. Here, let me just use the, 99% of the time, you only use one instance in one Java application. It's enough. It is enough. Okay? One instance can provide services for many users, large number of users. Only one instance. Okay? Yeah. But you may feel hard to understand. How can one instance provide services to large number of users concurrently? Because for web application, typical web application, many users need to access one particular Java web application concurrently, right? At the same time. How can one instance provide services at the same time? Yeah. Don't worry. Multi-threading, you have thread 1, thread 2, multi-threading. One instance can generate multiple threads, right? Multi-threading technique is used. Yeah. Servlet, by default, it uses multi-threading. Yeah. Multi-threading. I hope you have some basic knowledge of multi-threading. Multi-threading. Yeah. Later, I will have chance to explain more servlet multi-threading technique. Yeah. Here I just mentioned, bring this concept in. Yeah. Later, we will have a lot of discussion on multi-threading in servlet technology. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So that's the reason most of the time one instance is enough. You don't need more than one, but there is some. Yeah, here I talk about your multiple threads, yeah, to serve clients, yeah. Yeah, but there is some very rare situation that people may need to use more than one instances. That's possible, yeah, that's possible, but I will explain that special situation later, and not here, yeah. Here, yeah, still too early, yeah, we look at that problem too early. Yeah. All right. Then web.xml deployment descriptor, we can do another special thing. Map multiple URLs to the same servlet. Why people do that? Yeah. There is some reason. Sometimes there is some reason. Yeah. But if you want to do that, different URL. Yeah. URL1, URL2, URL3, we want to map it to our servlet. One. Yeah. You may have a situation you want to do that. Okay? Then you can do that easily. Yeah. We will see that. Yeah. All right. Next, the details. Explicit servlet configuration. Explicit. web.xml way, yeah, look at the example. In web.xml, look at this element. We need a servlet element. Inside it, you can see you need to specify servlet name, but using this element. Servlet dash tag, you provide the name of your servlet. Hello servlet. Servlet name. Because later, when you do something, if you want to refer to this servlet, you need to use its name. Yeah. So you need to provide that information. Then servlet class. Then the full path location, including your servlet name, you need to specify it. So the web server, Java web server can find this location, find this servlet Java class, compile the Java class here. All right, so and use it, connect to the servlet name. All right, then another element, servlet mapping. When you have that servlet, you need to process, you need to process the requests, right? The requests connected to the URL pattern, okay, for requests. URL pattern, okay? All right, how do you configure inside a servlet dash mapping element? You refer to your servlet by its name, hello servlet. Then you specify the URL pattern /hello. That's your URL, yeah, /hello, yeah, here. Then they are connected. That's enough. That's all you need to do for explicit configuration. Okay, yeah, save, we are ready. All right, yeah. All right. So next, another special case, yeah, here, right? All right, yeah, all right. So here I say, this is used to create a servlet instance. Yeah, so here I want to talk, this name, hello servlet, and we use it to create an internal servlet instance, right? Internal servlet instance, you need some name for it. Yeah, so this name is used. Yeah. All right. Right. Yeah. So then we do the map. All right. Yeah. And yeah. So the logical name. Remember, in our first video 8.1, I talked about logical name. Here, what is the logical name? This URL pattern is the logical name. Okay. You see it, right? Visually, you see it, but you cannot find hello item inside your web application folder. You cannot find anywhere. There is item, even if it's a folder or file name, you don't have it. So that's why we call it, it's just a logical name. Yeah. All right, yeah. Next, map multiple UIL to one servlet. If you really want to do it, you can do it. Okay, you can do it. Yeah. Here in our example, you can see we can list multiple URL patterns. Yeah. That URL dash pattern, that element, we can put more than one. It's legal. Yeah. In that way, we map multiple URLs to the same servlet. Very easy, right? Yeah. All right. So that is the explicit configuration. Next, I want to talk about implicit multiplication, configuration. Yeah, because you cannot see the detailed configuration, complete detailed configuration content. That content will be generated behind the scene, but you need to find a way to provide the critical information for that configuration. So that's the implicit configuration. Let's look at that part. annotation type configuration. Annotation, when we do annotation, it is very simple. One line, one short, simple line, we do annotation. Then we make the configuration. Not necessarily one line, but sometimes we may need more lines. Just one place, one short, simple, little element, then we can do it. Here, let me show you example. You can add annotation just above servlet discussion. How do we add annotation? After you create a servlet class, right? Servlet class. All right. So then you need to declare the class name, right? The class name, so that line, above that line, that's the place you do the annotation. How to do it here? Let me show you the simplest way, okay? Our hello world, hello. We use at annotation. We always use the at symbol, the famous at symbol. That's our annotation symbol. Then your annotation name, you need to provide special annotation name here, web servlet, capital web servlet. Then parentheses, double quotes, because when you want to declare, so this is a servlet, you tell the server, so this is a servlet, but what URL pattern do you use corresponding to this servlet? You need to tell that this hello corresponds to the URL pattern. Okay, then you're done. Okay, so our previous, this kind of explicit annotation, here we only need this one line, one short, simple line. You can do that. So you can see implicit way, annotation way is much easier than explicit way. But later, when we compare these two ways, you will see advantages, disadvantages for these two ways. But explicit way has its own importance. We still need that. We still need explicit way sometimes. Sometimes we really need explicit configuration. All right. Then for multiple URL pattern way, in that situation, our annotation becomes this. Okay, and we have option to specify name, hello servlet, specify servlet name. But in the first case, we do not specify. In the first case, if we do not specify, we use the default servlet name. Default servlet name. There is a default servlet. So what's that default servlet name? You can see here, this way, that's the default way. Okay, that's the default way. If you do not explicitly provide your servlet name, the server just uses the default name. You can see the default name is good enough. Okay, why you want to change it non-default way, right? Most of the time, Java developers, they don't need to change the default name. All right. Then for the URL pattern, inside the parentheses, double quotes, you can see you can provide multiple URL patterns as an array. Because this is array way, right? This is an array format. Array of string. How about that? Array of strings for URL patterns. Okay, also very simple. Remember URL patterns, so this name you need to use. The attribute name. So Attribute name, attribute value. Yeah. Name, value. Name value pair. Okay. Name value pair. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Here, the default servlet name, the rule for default servlet, the internal name that is used for the servlet is the same as the class name of the servlet. Same as the class name. Yeah. Same class name. Yeah. Capital hello world. Okay. Hello, not hello world. Hello servlet. Same as the class name. Yeah. But yeah, that lowercase, the first character, yeah, because by convention, we like to use that lowercase, right? Yeah. When we create an instance, we like to use the lowercase for instance. Yeah. All right. But so here, that convention, because nobody can see it, right? It is used internally. Nobody can see it. So that's why this default servlet is fine. Because no Java developer can see it. No Java developer can see it. So that's the reason, although it does not follow the Java convention. Yeah, so this way it does not follow the Java convention. But it's okay. Nobody can see it, so nobody will complain, right? Nobody will complain. Yeah. All right, so that's our video 8.2.